Spruce Mountain is a fictional USA map that boasts a very well balanced version of both arable, logging and mining facilities. It's not a huge massive map, but what it does offer is a nice variety and a good balance, with a good mixture for the arable of large and small fields. I've enjoyed my time on the map this week, and I look forward to seeing what else could possibly develop from this map if I ever decide to pick it up again. Spruce Mountain is not a large map by any spectre of the imagination. It has a decent balance, however, of mountainous region and logging areas, as well as lots and lots of arable and a few production points that you can see. One really nice feature of this map is this map key here for when you are in the mountains and the logging areas. You can quite easily sort of discern what areas are purchasable and what aren't, and what are easier to get through and what are meant for pedestrians and stuff like that. A map key is something that would be nicer in some other maps as well. One thing I would say is the font for the Buyable Forest area is very hard to read if you are like myself and colorblind, so you're going to have a bit of an issue finding that, but if you go to farmland you can very easily see plots that are marked out. On the note of farmland, it is actually fairly cheap. The field sizes tend to be anywhere between a couple of hectares all the way up to around, I think, 10 or maybe 12, I think is the largest. It's a fairly decent size field for maybe a beginner or a mid player who is looking to expand their knowledge and sort of really get to grips with a new map. One of the plots that you're going to want to look at buying, which I didn't, is plot number 1. Plot number 1 is a large area which does include 2 smaller fields and all of your farmyard goodness like your sheds and stuff, and it's only 138,000. Looking bad on it, I would have preferred to buy this instead of what I did buy, which was field 56 and plot 25, which gives you all of this concreted area. However, it doesn't actually give you access to any of the production points that are there, so that is worth bearing in mind as well. The prices are pretty fair for the size of field that you get in. Maybe not as generous as a map like Oberthal or as stingy as a map like Castile, but definitely somewhere in between. Interestingly, you do have these little round plots of land as well, which do have crops on them, but they are very small. You only get a couple of thousand litres of whatever it is that you're farming on there, but again, they're only 7,000 to 8,000, so it's a good little plot of land that you can buy to get yourself started up if you so desire. Other things worth noting is that there is a couple of water areas on the map that are very clearly defined, which is nice, and you do have caves and things that you can go in, Stone Mountain and stuff, which you can take your skid rower up and maybe have a go at mining. I haven't yet. Generally the focus up here is more on logging than it is on mining. The area is very open and easy to get to with the trees and stuff that you can log quite easily. The shapes of the fields are interesting as well. Like, they're fairly square with a couple of rounded bits, but like there are a few very odd shaped fields as well. I'm not entirely sure how you would go about doing this unless you were to buy plot 11, clear it of all trees, and then just make it one big field once you've got rid of all the stumps and everything, and just plow it and make it one nice big plot. That's probably what I would do. It's a good map. At least on the surface level, it's a very good map. Like I say, there's lots that you can do. There's really nice areas, very square fields, very open fields, so you can get your equipment around as well. It's impressive. It's been done well. Like I say, outside of some of the font changes and maybe some of the shapes that they've gone for here are a bit odd, but overall I'm quite impressed. The map itself is actually quite nice to drive around. We're starting here in the shop area, which does have a sell point as well, and it's a really nice open plateau of concrete that you can get around. This is a nice change from some of the maps that I've been on, where it's very hard to get in and very hard to get out of the shop itself. I like how easy this is. There's 2 entry points, there is a repair shop, and like I say, there is a sell point down here as well. You can buy this concrete area, so you can maybe fill it up with a few well-placed productions or sheds, and then as you come out you can see that the road is quite wide. It's unmarked, it's all unmarked, and there are people walking around as well. One criticism that I do have of this map is the placement of trees on certain fields is just really annoying if you use third-person view, which when farming I normally do. It kind of completely blocks and obstructs your view of the field that you're trying to harvest or seed or whatever. You can go in first person, it will negate most of that, but honestly it's just an annoyance, and if you are going to buy a field like that, you're probably going to want to straight away take the trees down. It is based in USA, so you have a lot of these sort of very typically American buildings around, which are quite nice to see. They're well laid out. Again, they're not like odd. It makes the map feel alive enough as you're driving around without over cluttering it. Like, there's not too much going on, there's just enough. If you go into the mountains, and there are plenty of points to do that, you can actually see just how well it's been designed for off-roading. The map does actually start you with a 4x4 and a quad bike thing. It's like a little buggy to allow you to get up these more difficult tracks a lot easier. Obviously I'm doing it in a tractor, which is why we're doing it in first person, just because again the trees would obstruct your view quite a bit. There are many areas that you can get to and go around, and it's very, very pretty. It makes you feel like you are in the mountains. There are bits and pieces, there are bits of wood all about and stuff, and blocked areas which I'm now not going to be able to get by because I've gone up a route I really shouldn't have done. But the views are quite stunning as well. If we get to the top of this rock here, like, that is a good view, you know? That is a really, really nice view, and that helps a lot when you're farming or when you're, you know, logging or doing anything of any sort of work. If you look up and you're in third person, you've got a view that is just really good to look at when you're not being obstructed by the trees that you're working on. It makes a whole world of difference. This map is a really, really good balance. I've used that word a lot in this video because it's really true. It's got a nice amount of arable farming if you just want to crack on and do what you know. It's got a really, really good amount of logging available, and even some mining possibilities if you wanted to try and get into that. You may need some mods for that to be a thing. There are some water areas, and I can see you having a lot of fun just getting in the buggy and driving around this bit as well. Maybe making a course and trying to time yourself as you go around it. Just really venturing away from farming altogether if you so desired. I rate this map. It's been a lot of fun to play this week. It's been really interesting seeing the really small round fields as well as, you know, the really big square ones. The pieces of equipment that I've used are not really that big. Like, I haven't really bought that many massive pieces of equipment. I bought the New Holland CH7.75, a small, I think it was like an 8-meter wide header, and that has done me really well. It's not taken me long to do any of the fields or anything like that. It's just been a nice experience. I would recommend this map. If you haven't tried it already, give it a shot. It's called Spruce Mountain. It is based in the USA. It has a really nice balance of everything. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I hope to see you all in the next video. Ciao, ciao.